There are so many people, as you know, the way our culture is, it's always been this way, but it's become so much more so. So many people would give everything they have, they'd sell their soul to the devil to have any section of your career. You know, the first section of your career, they would take any part of it and they would give everything away. And what is very clear is that you had this really unprecedented success that you managed to keep leveling up to the next level. And you were clearly determined to not become this two-dimensional image to people. You wanted to be who you really are. And of course, in this first part of your career, you know, Laugh-In and some of the early movies, people could say, yeah, she is the giggly girl, she's the giggly blonde, and they could label you as that. And you were very determined to say, that's not who I am. And I'm going to take some dramatic roles. I'm going to produce. I'm going to do this other stuff. But it felt to me like that is an act of will. That's a very strong act of will to say, no. Plenty of people would be very happy with that. Plenty of people would be very happy to be the person who was a huge star and laughing and playing that one role. And so where does that come from? Where does that sense of you that says, I'm not going to do that, and in fact, we're going to do things this way?
I think it's part of my nature. I mean, I went to New York at 18 and was left off on 10th Avenue and had no place to stay because the people there actually left for summer. And I'm going, wait a minute, I'm in New York. I got a little suitcase and a thing. I was dancing at the World's Fair, so I had a job. I was there. So being a dancer, number one, since 3 years old.
And you thought of yourself and still think of yourself as a dancer.
As a dancer, wow. Exactly. Yeah. It's because it's a lesson in life. And dancing was not only understanding where your body was at every moment, but man, we worked hard. And when we danced hard. When we worked out, we were going to do whatever we could do in order to get better. That was it. Okay, so it was like an athlete. All right, So you build up what I say grit, real grit, because you fall, because and dancers obviously, aside from training, they were the low end of the totem pole in every musical everywhere because the singers got this thing and the payment, and we broke our ass. Okay, no matter what. But I like that I got the grit. I liked it. So when I went off to New York to do this, I went off, of course, not thinking I'd ever come home again, but I literally did it because I believed I could. Got the audition, go there, can't find a place to live. What do? Call home? No. I decided to move in for a little bit with my dance instructor and the choreographer, which was a bad idea because I woke up one night with a vibrator, okay? And the vibrator was not in a good spot. Oh. And I literally said, so, Phil, this isn't going to work. So maybe I need to find an apartment. So I found an apartment.
I left my body. Did anyone else leave their body? I think I left my body and I went into your body.
Yeah, and I'm in you, and
you're in my body.
I don't want to be there.
No, but you're impressed at my muscle mass.
I'm thinking about it.
Sona went into Goldie's body. Yes. Goldie said, "Get out of my body.
No, I love it
this
here.
Is not a good place."
I want to stay there.
So you wake up, vibrator, not in a good place, and you say, I think this isn't going to work.
That's right. I mean, I was quite sure it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a certainty that comes when a vibrator is in the wrong area. Anyway, continue, please.
Yes, exactly.
Continue with this cross-examination.
Yeah, that's a binary decision.
Decisions get made very quickly that way. Okay. Now, I went out and I got an apartment, right? Now, I'm just saying this only because you don't go home again. You fight for what you believe in. It is nobody's going to take care of you. You're going to take care of yourself, which I was fine. So I went to basically 70th Street, and I found a one-room apartment, a lot of roaches, 7 police locks. It was on the door, and a guy below, a man, I was saying, was a junk dealer. So he had like people lying in the hallway having been shot up. Now I'm from a dead end street in Maryland, right? And I thought I went and got the police. And the police, which I said, because I saw him come over and he looked at her. I pulled him. I said, this isn't good. Now, I just moved into the apartment. I'm already telling the police what to do.
Right.
And the police said, come on, Deirdre, let's go. Come on, Deirdre. And she was one that had just, gotten a fix somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I was scared of Deirdre because Deirdre was like in that, doing that. And then one day I walked out because I was much more afraid in my building than I was outside. I mean, it was like that. And I was walking up the street and sure enough, she's following me.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. So now she's following me, now I'm freaked out, right? Remember, I'm 19 now. And I go into some coffee shop and I sit down and I talk to the guy next to me. And I said, no, see that girl? She's got her nose against the thing and she's looking after me and I'm scared of her. He said, listen, why don't you come to my office? I'm a chiropractor. And you can sit there for a while and feel comfortable. So I said, okay, that would be great. So he pulls his car around and I go to New Jersey to his chiropractor.
Oh, wait a minute. This doesn't sound on the level.
What?
I have many times said to women, I'm a chiropractor, come with me. And I have no license. And it's, ladies, don't listen. So was it okay?
After I was sitting in his waiting room for like an hour, I said, I have to get back to the city. I mean, I can't stay here, And then eventually it was like he drove me back to the city. I said, gee, thanks. That was really great. All I asked for was a little comfort, from this guy.
Yeah.
But I thought that I could take solace in his his office for a while. No. I drove over the George Washington Bridge. I mean, it was like I was being kidnapped.
Oh my God.
I trusted everybody.
Yeah,
because,
that's a bad story. I mean,
I have a worse story.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a worse story. So when I came to New York in May, I got this roach-infested apartment, and I then went to a bathing suit tryout, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a bag. My bag was bigger than me, and I had my bathing suits in there, and I met this guy wanting to go on the subway, and I met this guy who seemed to be a very nice guy. He said, I got to stop you for a minute. I've got to stop you. Look, you're not going to believe me. I'm not putting the make on you or anything. He said, look, I've got a watch here. I'm going with Tuesday Weld, who happened to be at that time in the 60s, like a big deal. And it says, I love you, Tuesday on it. And I went, oh, I said, oh, okay. He said, but here's the deal. Al Cap. Now I'm standing on a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Al Cap just created a television series out of Lil Abner. It's going on to TV, NBC. But you look like just amazing character that he created called Tenderleaf Erickson.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is that, you have an interesting face. And I thought, I do have an interesting face. I don't call it a beautiful face, but, big eyes. And so I thought I probably look a little strange, but he didn't say to me, you look great, you're gorgeous. No, I have an interesting face. So I believed him. Then he said to me, look, I want to give you a script. I want you to take a look at this. And if you need a ride, because I've stopped you, I've got a car. I'll drop you off at the, wherever you are, to the audition, which was, I don't know, Madison and something. And I'd just been in New York. So this is not even a month. And my job is basically, in Flushing, because I was at the World's Fair. So I was doing can on top of a bar at the Texas Pavilion. So anyway, now I sort of, he called me a little bit and warmed me up. And, it was like, it's cute. He gives me a script. And then I said, this is awesome. And he said, I want you to talk to Al Cap. He's getting an award, like Man of the Year award in Kansas City or some university. And I talked to him. And he sounded very nice. I'm really looking forward to meeting you. And I called Mom and Dad and I went, this is so great. I mean, this will be great. I'm nervous about it, but now the time comes. And I get into a cab and I go over to Fifth Avenue, an apartment. Like I'm going, oh my God, from Roach City all the way up to the Fifth Avenue apartment. And I went in, they were expecting me. I get in the elevator, and then the butler comes out, and he says, "Oh, Goldie, we've been waiting for you. Wonderful welcome." And I sit down in his lovely apartment, and he said, "Mr. Cap is not here yet." He said, "But he likes his women to pour his tea." Okay, that was a moment. Then he brings out a 400-pound sterling silver tea set with tea in it. And now I'm sitting there looking at the teapot and wondering if I even had the fulcrum to be able to lift the teapot to know how to pour it into the cup. I had to do this with my elbow, because, come on. Then he comes in. Goldie. How lovely to see you. I'll be right back. Goes into his room. He comes back in a dressing gown. He limped a little. So then he sits down. We have a conversation. I then started getting worried about his ladies pouring his tea. So I explained to him that I just got here from New York and I've been dancing and I've got a really good family. And I wanted him to think well of me. So I wasn't one of those girls. And I told him that, my mom, daddy was really interested in me working. He was such support. But, my mom really wanted me to end up marrying a Jewish dentist. And that's kind of the way it worked, right? And so that was great. And he said, well, okay. So now I'm reading for him. He was very legit. He said, look, you're projecting too much. So remember, there's microphones. And now I'm reading this part. I don't remember who she was. And then he said, now I'd like you to go over to the end of the room. And I want you just make me the camera so I can get an idea. And just, look a little stupid. I mean, look kind of, like you're just and like an imbecile. So now I'm trying to, work on this and going, okay, I have to look like an imbecile. So I'm going to take the beads and put it out of my mouth. I had like pop beads on, it was 60. Mm-hmm. And I put them in my mouth and I walked toward him and looked just stupid. I mean, I was just trying to look like, what is that little thing? And now I'm looking at him, and now he said to me, now, you know what? You could play Daisy May. Now, I did Little Abner in school. I know that play backwards and forwards, all the music. No, I was not Daisy May. She's very buxom, shorts, really sexy, one of those. And so I thought, this is weird. So he said, I'd like to see your legs.
Oh my God. So
I went over by this smoky mirror. And now keep in mind, dancers are not shy. I mean, we dance with, things on and whatever. So when you're dancing and you're doing go-go, which I did, I danced on tables too, is that you shake it, you do it, you have like high cut leotards and you change in the thing and the wings, you're fine. You got your underpants on, you're covered, whatever. So I wasn't shy, but I was dubious. And so now I know exactly what I was wearing. It's amazing when you have these moments. It was a pink knit, maybe mini, beginning mini, not much, just over the top of the knees. And now I pull my skirt up just a little bit. He said, more. So I pulled it up another inch. And he said, higher. And I said, no, that's it. I'm done. He said, okay. He said, Goldie, come on over here. So I go over. He has now taken out his penis. It was, I'm telling you, it was not a pretty picture. I love penises, but this was not a good one. And it was flipped over his situation. It basically was a wooden leg. So he limped. And the reason is that, he had a wooden leg. Bless his heart, he didn't have a thing. But he did have another leg. And that leg, he said, now come over here and give me a little kiss. And I looked at him. I looked at his other limb. I looked at his wooden leg. I came back and I said, Mr. Cat, I will never get a job like this.
Wow.
I will never do that. He said, well, I've had them all. You're going to go nowhere in this business. I've had them all. You name it. He said, so it's done. And I said, okay. And I was upset but I was getting it on the way, so I got it, And then I said, okay, I better get going because I'm going to be late for my work at the World's Fair. And he threw $20 at me and he said, take a cab. And I went out there and I went there. I did all my show. That was a huge show we did. It wasn't just a can-can. It was 40 minutes of dancing straight. I mean, truly hard. And I'm trying to shake the fringe. It's black fringe. I'm trying to do all this stuff. And I was like bereaved. The fella that I had been seeing a bit was down below. Basically, he was the bartender. He cut and he said, listen, let me take you out for a drink. Now, I said, okay. So we went back to the Endive, which was just by the 59th Street Bridge. And it was basically a bar. And I sat there at the bar and one of his friends came up. His friend had a car. And it was about 2:30 in the morning. And we was driving us home. And we go on West Side Highway. And this is all in one day. We were pushed over by a taxi cab into a light pole. At that time, the West Side Highway was horrible. And we crashed. I saw it coming. I went underneath the dashboard. It was no bucket seats in those days, no seat belts. I was in the middle. The two guys were on either side of me. We hit this light pole. I was knocked out. I remember that there was somebody pulling at me and asking, is she alive? And they cut everything to try to get to me. The boys, I don't know what was happening to the boys. They took me to the hospital, the ambulance, I guess. I don't remember any of it. And I woke up with a nurse trying to get x-rays and, I vomited all over her. And she was so mean, by the way. She said, you just had the dry heaves, and then of course I didn't. And now my friend came in. He had a gash on his nose. The other fellow that was driving had a gash in his knee. I had a little gash in my leg and a concussion. Only God could have saved us from that. Only God. And as it turned out, to end this particular story, I woke up in my apartment that I do not remember going into. I woke up to the phone ringing, and it happened to be this fella. He said,
the one who connected you
yes,
to
the
Al
young
Cap.
guy.
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah.
So Peter said, you fucked everything up, didn't you? I told you to be nice to him. I told you to do this, and you fucked everything up. And I said, Peter, go back to Tuesday Weld and leave me alone.
Jesus.
I then made it to the bathroom. I was so dizzy. I threw up again. And then I realized I had nobody in New York. I didn't have, the only number I had, the new number I had was his. So I picked up the phone, and by the grace of God, I remembered that number. And I called him back up and I said, Peter, I'm sorry, but I was in a really bad accident last night. And I'm alone. And he was just horrified. He hung up. He came to my house. He lived right down the street to my apartment. And he had roses. And he said, oh, I'm so sorry. He said, I'm just a pimp for Al Cap, and you're such a nice person. Oh, he took me to the hospital.
He admitted it?
Yes.
Said, wow. Whoa.
Yes. And he was 26 years old. And I was 19. So he was a kid. After that, my mom came for 2 weeks. And then until I started, feeling better. I'm going to jump to something really crazy right now because it'll end the story, truly end the story. When I go places, I like to see holy places. I like to see people who might have a gift of the future. I'm interested in all the things like you said. And so I was now with Kurt. We had made Protocol. Kurt had made another movie. We decided to go to Nepal, do some hiking, came back, went to Thailand. And now we're in Thailand. And I said to someone that we had met there I would love to find someone, a psychic or something. So we went to all the beautiful places, but we went and met this guy. His name was Sonny, young man. He sat down at a Thai restaurant where we met him. And he's looking at me, looking at all the things he starts writing. They were all geometrics. And he looked at me and he said, did you almost die when you were around 19? And I said, no, I didn't. He said, it's written. You just think back. And then I remembered my accident. And I remembered that I left my body and saw, I got the chills, and saw myself being pulled out and all of that. And I thought, I wonder if that was meant to happen. And then I went back to my body, because I then said to him, I said, no, actually, I was in a really bad accident. Ah, he said, because it says that your life changed very quickly after that. And I did. I went to LA. I got a job in LA. I cut my hair. I went to I danced in Vegas. Next thing I come back, I'm excited. I got a job dancing on the Andy Griffith and show and thing. And I was like home free. And it was amazing. And I was going to be used. Nick Castle was a choreographer. I'm going to use you in everything. And so an agent comes up to me on the show, services the shows. And I was just with 12 beautiful girls. And he asked me, do you have an agent? And I said, I don't really. And he said, I'd like to talk to you. And of course, do I trust men at that point? Not really. So I figured it was just that guy. It was like, I'm not really, I'm going to the William Morris office. You got to be kidding. They called, are you coming? We're expecting you, whatever. This is after the show is over. And I said, you mean this is real? You mean he really does want to see me? And well, you get over here, we're at William Morris. We're all waiting for you. And so I get in my car, which, by the way, the car was like 54 Ford, and every time I made a right-hand turn, the left-hand door opened. So,
It's kind of a signal. It works like a signal.
I mean, I used to, just one hand make a right-hand turn. I couldn't do left hand, so that, I get up there, I go to William Morris, they're all sitting there, and all the agents are sitting there, and they're just adorable. They're all, they all have Jaguars, is all I can say. They all had Jaguars. And they were sitting there, and then this young agent said, I have a feeling about her. Cut to. They said, well, if you sign her, go ahead and sign her if you believe in her, And I don't say a word. So now, next thing I know, you put me up for this thing. Oh, she's too young for that. She shouldn't be in that. He said, I just want them to see her. Now, this was, Persky and Danoff. These are all, big people, big funny people. And this was a three camera show. I go in there, I do the audition, I come out, I go home. My agent called, my new agent, and he said, you got the part.
Is this Good Morning World?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I have a brother, Neil, and my listeners are probably familiar with Neil, and he knows everything about television, especially 60s, 70s, everything. And he's always bringing up the thing that you don't expect him to say. And so I say, I'm really excited because I'm going to talk to Gourley Hawn tomorrow. And he went, oh my God, because he loves you. And he's like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's fantastic. And there's 75 things that are huge hits that people associate with Gourley Hawn. And he says, ask her about Good Morning World.
Oh my God!
With Ronnie Shell.
Oh my God!
And I'm like, what? And he went, yes. Oh my God, Good Morning World. I have all 9 episodes. And I said, you know what? I might. And then I'm thinking, no, I'm not. And then you bring me, like you say, there's a magic in the world.
Exactly.
So I know about the sitcom you got that was before you got Laugh-In,
exactly,
which turned you which blew up crazily. Yeah.
I mean, really, that is so insane.
But the fact that my brother Neil, he's always doing that. If I said, oh, I'm going to go see Jane Fonda, he'll say, well, ask her about, the time that she was on Have Gun Will Travel as a 13-year-old opposite Burt Mustin. And I'll be like, what? Oh, yeah, no, 1959. She was great. She said, help, get the sheriff. I'm like, what? Well, how about all the other shit Jane Fonda did? Oh, yeah, okay, you can ask her about that. But anyway, that's so cool that you brought that up.
Nobody knows about that.
Neil does.
I mean, now one person
God
knows.
bless you, Neil, yeah.
Oh, my God.
But, everything you're talking about, first of all, we live in this new reality now, thank God, I hope, where everything that happened to you is crazily actionable. We'd like to think that that's over, but the fact that that was just a part of the life of 19-year-old attractive blonde who comes from a really good family and is just trying to make it, and that's yeah, that happens. Oh yeah, well that's just part of it, is absolutely insane and kind of devastating. That was just a regular part of the world.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was like my mother wrote me a letter and she said, "I'm very happy, sweetheart. But remember, only you can make people care about you. Your producers don't matter. And there's this little thing called the casting couch."
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Just be aware of that. Because the one person that has to make it is you. You have to be prepared. You have to be good enough to know that you'll be the one that the audience will applaud. It's not about your producer." So I had a work ethic.
Yeah.
I also, a year later, just as a coda to this story, a guy stops me on 8th Avenue as I'm going down to another audition. He stops me. His name is Jeff Tuffler. And he said, "Stop. Listen, I gotta tell you something. You look like a character that Al Cap just created, and I want to talk to you about it."
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
And I yelled at him. And I said, "Don't come to me with that. I know exactly who you are. I was taken by another pimp just like you." I said, "So I'm not interested." And he said, "Can I buy you a hamburger?" And I said, "Yes," because I didn't have any money.
Yeah. You always say yes to a hamburger.
I mean, please,
Yeah.
when do you turn that down?
Yeah.
So while I was eating the hamburger, I said, "I just want to say one thing to you. I live at 8 Avenue, and you put a contract in my mailbox because I'm not doing this." I then go to audition to be a Copa girl, and there he is. And I went over to him and I said, "I'm telling every girl here who you are."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when we have ethics, those are ethics. Those
Yes,
are stand up and be counted.
Yeah.
And I was fearless about what I believe to be ethical and true. And I guess at the end of the day, it's who we are.
Yeah.
It's who we are.
Hey there. Welcome to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. We have a very special episode today. Big, massive star. I'd say maybe one of the biggest, one of the most iconic faces of the last easily 50 years of film, Harrison Ford. And he was on the podcast, and there was some concern because everyone's a Harrison Ford fan, everybody. But Gourley takes it to this other level. I think the words creepy come to mind. You idolize the man, and I was worried that you wouldn't behave yourself, Matt, or you might soil yourself or embarrass yourself in some way. And I want to applaud you because I thought you handled yourself with aplomb in this.
Yeah, we talked about this on an earlier episode, and I think everything went really well, so much so that I think it's safe to say that he and I are friends.
Well, I'd like to see you try and cash that check. It would be fun to watch you escorted off the Ford estate by nine robotic security guards,
Stormtroopers.
Yeah, exactly. I would pay anything to see you tossed out of his house, like a drunk in an old movie gets tossed out of a bar, and they just grab you by the pants and throw you out.
I don't know why we can't just leave it as fact. We don't need to test it. It just is. He and I are buddies.
Did you guys exchange numbers?
No, but we didn't need to because I think we're beyond that. Did you?
How are you? How
No.
can you be beyond? That's
you're
a
not
big part of friendship.
Yeah, you're not beyond it.
Well, you don't need to call someone when you're always hanging out. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. You don't need his number because you'll always be right next to each other.
Yeah. That hasn't started yet, but I'm assuming it's any day now.
Any day now, there's going to be a knock at your door, and you're going to open it, and he's going to be there as Indiana Jones, And
he will have landed a plane on
and
my
he's
roof.
going to whip you to death.
I'll take it. I'll take it. What a way
Really,
to go.
you'd be happy to go out that way, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
No, I thought you did. I thought you were very good. You were very professional. You are. I give you a hard time, but you are at your core a pro. And I thought you were. You are. You're a professional. You handle yourself well. Sona, you are not a professional.
Okay.
But I think
was going to just ask you about your take on me, but okay. I should have just guessed.
Well,
That's
would you
what
say
you
you're?
were gonna say.
Would you say you're a lot of things, a lot of great things? Would you say you're a professional?
First of all, I mean,
Would you?
Harrison Ford came in. Excuse you. He came in and I was very, very professional. A lot of times when you're around serious people, I am a very professional person. So, yeah, I do think that I was being professional. And I think that it's not like I'm walking in, like, puffing on a joint and eating Cheetos and being like, yo, Harry, what's up? I didn't do that.
Wow,
I think he would have appreciated that.
Yeah, first of all, I think he would have been fine with that, especially if you didn't bogart that joint. But I think that, you set a pretty low bar for yourself. You said, as long as I don't walk in eating Cheetos and smoking a massive blunt, then I'm a professional. So
I will say, I think that day you did actually come in from the kitchen with a snack bag of something like little Cheetos or something.
yeah, you did.
But that's what I do every day when we record. So that's not But I think that I was being a professional. I think everybody was on their best behavior. We just wanted Harrison Ford to think we were cool.
Can I say I was not on my best behavior? I was not well behaved. I said I wasn't even sure he was in the Star Wars films because he doesn't really.
That's right.
He doesn't pop.
You'll hear that. I say, you got to admit, you don't really pop in those movies. I'm surprised he didn't come across the table.
No, you're the problem here.
You know
not
what's so
me.
fun? You know what's so
Yeah.
funny? I came in, as I do often, hot. I come in and, trying to give you guys a hard time. And while I was talking to you, realized I am the one who's unprofessional. I am the problem. And,
Yeah.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I'm saying this like it's a therapy session, and I just realized that for the first time. But no, that's a breakthrough for me. I am the
You're
problem.
also saying it like we haven't realized that from day one.
I don't
I
care
think
what you guys realize. I'm having my own breakthrough. This is about me. I'm the patient.
But I've said this many times that the fish rots from the head, and you're the head of this fish.
So I'm a rotting fish head.
What's the head rots, the rest of the thing rots. And
No, we all
you
know.
rot first.
Sona, we know how it works. You don't need
Okay,
to break
I
this
just wanted
down.
to explain it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just wanted
I'm
to
still not
explain it.
clear, Sona, if you could really.
So the fish rots from the head. That means Conan is the head of the fish.
What
and
kind
then
of fish?
He starts to
What is
rot.
it? Is it a freshwater
Yeah.
fish or is it a saltwater fish?
It's I think it's a saltwater fish.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Why? Does that make a difference?
I
Do
think
you know
we're-
a lot about fishing? You
Sure.
fish?
Well, you know me. I'm a guy that likes to get out on the sea. I like that air in my face. I come from a long line of fishermen, and yes,
It's a microbiologist. Okay.
my father's a microbiologist, but before that, he was a gratin fisherman. He wore a big yellow gratin fisherman's outfit. And
God.
then he was so bad at it, they said, I think you need to go get a microscope. Because the only fish you're catching are so tiny we can't even see them. So that's how he did it. All right. Well, let's just say I admit I am the weak link in this chain today, but man, we had a really good time. So
Yeah.
let's get to it. My guest today, of course, one of the biggest actors of all time, appearing in over 70 movies over the last 50 years, including Star Wars, Indiana Jones, The Fugitive, Blade Runner. Good God, it's ridiculous.
It's my buddy.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, that's your pal, and so many more. Now you can
so
see
proud of
him.
him.
Now you can see him in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. We are thrilled he's with us today. Harrison Ford.
Hi, my name is Harrison Ford, and I feel confused
Okay.
about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
Now listen, you and I
We
have
talked about this a long time ago.
we did,
and then a lot of time has passed. You've made no effort whatsoever. And now you show up out of the blue, and you want me to be your friend.
yes, I do. And listen,
What can you say on a podcast?
you can say anything you
anything
want,
you like.
anything you like.
Well, fuck you.
Already my favorite.
Clearly, Harrison, you've read The Room. and you understand that there's a lot of animosity towards me, and that you will do quite well if you shit on me throughout this process.
Thank you for confirming my instincts.
You know, the first thing you did when you came in here is say, I just want my parking validated. And that seems to be your chief concern, is that we validate your parking. When, maybe I'm going out on a limb here, this could be the biggest hour of your career. It's possible. It's possible that this podcast recording will outshine any of your other work.
If he gets a parking validation.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry about the car. I'll walk home.
You will walk home rather
On
than
air.
suffer the
On air.
Yeah. Can we record you for the whole walk home?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, thank you. I want to say something to you, which is that I have, you came on my show many, many times on the late night show. And over the years, people would say, who's one of your favorite guests? And I would say Harrison Ford, because he's so goddamn funny. You would come on the show. Have you seen these appearances?
Of course I have, yeah.
You are so hilariously funny, and you tossed me around like a rag doll verbally on these shows. And they're some of my favorite segments of all time. You were a hilarious man, and I've always loved being around you.
You guys wrote some great stuff for, I remember, I don't remember any of it, to tell you the truth. But
Do you know who I am at this moment? Conan
O'Brien.
Yes.
It's kind of cool when you say it that way.
You know what? It's only
do
cool
it.
when you say it. It's the only time it's ever been cool.
Do it again.
Conan
O'Brien.
Yes.
Wow, it's like jazz.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Could
we're
I-
jazz. We're jazz.
We're jazz.
Yeah.
We all pick up on each other.
He's jazz. You're
He's jazz?
just like
He's
carousel
saying
music.
you're jazz.
I'm
Yeah.
jazz.
And I am, Circus Calliope,
Yeah.
I think. Something kind of
I'm
that
jazz.
that a chimp would dance to.
And you're Chaz. Chaz.
Okay, I'm sure. All right, I'm
What
going to go
kind
with
of a
Chaz.
name is Conan? Is it
How dare you? Conan is an old Gaelic name that my parents gave me. They thought, we'll call him
an
Conan.
old Gaelic boy?
I come from...
Do you speak Gaelic?
I do not. I do not speak Gaelic. In fact, I don't think anybody really speaks Gaelic. I think it's a made-up... have you heard Gaelic? It sounds like a bunch of... Someone threw some chairs down the back stairs. It's just a lot of...
Yeah.
consonants. There's not a vowel in there, and I think it's just to confuse people about when it's time to go to the pub. So I don't speak Gaelic, but I do have a very Irish name. And you know what fascinated me to learn?
I'm part Irish.
You are part Irish,
Yeah.
Irish, German, and mother Jewish.
What's the German part?
I thought you were German Irish. I thought your dad was German Irish.
Is there such a thing as German Irish?
Sure. Yeah.
Would,
German people were allowed to marry Irish people. Sure.
but you don't carry a designation by marrying somebody a national.
Yeah, sure you do. Yeah.
No,
There are Irish Italians.
Okay,
Of course.
my father was Irish.
Right. Okay.
No German.
No German.
No.
Okay. I refer you to this
My
piece of paper
mother-
right here that says born and raised in Chicago to an Irish/German father.
Well, if that's the quality of your research. And I imagine it is, because right there it says Harrison Ford, and then you had to write down Han Solo.
Yeah, I did.
You can't
Come
fucking
on.
remember that?
No, I can't. I can't remember Han Solo.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I wrote down because I heard that you were in some of the Star Wars films. And this was news to me because I've seen those films and I don't exactly think you pop.
Well,
I didn't recognize, I'm sorry.
whoa.
But I mean, I remember Chewbacca. I remember the bad guy with the black helmet.
Huh?
And then there's some people.
How come you're not still on television?
I think it's quite obvious why I'm not still on television.
Yeah.
I've always thought you have one of the coolest names of any leading man, Harrison
Yeah.
Ford. You cannot beat that name. Yet you were asked, or it was suggested early in your career, that you change your name.
True.
Who the fuck wanted you to change from Harrison Ford?
Jerry Dukovsky.
Oh.
Well, physician,
Yeah, I
heal
know.
thyself.
He just had a hatred for his own name.
Yeah.
Is that true? So he wanted you to change your name.
Yeah.
You said Harrison Ford, and he went, "No, we can do better."
Yeah, he said that's too pretentious a name for a young man. He was about 4 years older than me. He always called me boy. Oh, boy.
So what did you come up with an alternate name?
Yeah. Jerry Tchaikovsky.
Well, okay. I don't think it was very original. You
No,
could
I
have thought.
didn't. I did come back the next day. I was not only supposed to come back with a name, but I was supposed to be there earlier than my naming conference
Mhm.
to get a haircut, and I'd been given a picture of Elvis Presley to take with me to the studio barber,
They told you get this haircut.
get this haircut,
Yeah.
and come back with a name. I said, okay. I didn't get the haircut.
hmm
And I said, my new name is Kurt Affair.
Incredible.
Yeah,
That's a great name,
yeah, yeah,
Kurt Affair.
yeah. It's Irish German name.
Oh my god.
So obviously that didn't stick.
No,
you didn't.
nothing did.
Nothing did for a while.
No, they threw me. They let me go after a year and a half of a 7-year contract.
Wow,
After which I would be making $1,200 a week
really?
after 7 years.
So this is a different time in show business that kind of
This
fascinates
is
me.
indentured servitude.
It really was. But you look at, I'm thinking now about the television. You come to Hollywood in 1964, and the big way to get a job, if you're lucky, is every show on television is a Western, a TV Western, pretty much. And you
Love
were,
American Style.
you did Love American Style?
Oh, yeah, man. I played a hippie,
Oh, yeah.
a real stretch.
It's so funny because I have a brother, Neil, who's obsessed with TV of the 60s and early 70s. And so I told him today when I'm on the, I told him when I was on,
That's my watch.
is it your watch?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's very rude.
It's time for you to go.
Yeah. But you just pushed the alarm on your watch so you could leave this interview now and not look rude. That's what happened.
I don't mind looking rude.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You're right. I just did misread the situation terribly.
Yeah.
But so I'm driving into work today, and I'm talking to my brother, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going in and I'm going to talk to Harrison Ford." He said, "That's so cool. Ask him about that Gunsmoke."
Yeah.
And I said, "What?" No one asks Harrison Ford about his episode of Gunsmoke. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know him and these other guys take over the town, and you kill a guy in a bar and." In a poker game, and he knew it. And then, of course, I looked it up online, and there's a picture of you looking real nasty on Gunsmoke.
Yeah. I did Gunsmoke in the Virginian, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I played the same part twice on FBI in one season, and they didn't even realize I was the same guy.
So you just came back, and they were like, "We had a great time with Kurt Affair. What's your name?"
Yeah. No, I always played. I seemed to get these. If there were two criminal brothers,
Yeah.
I was the one that was sort of duped by my smarter older brother.
Right.
How old is your brother?
He's 3 years older than me, or 2.5 years. Yeah.
See?
Yeah, exactly. He tricked me into talking to you, and he'll be delighted because he'll listen to this and he'll say, "You got Harrison Ford to talk about Gunsmoke." But it is interesting to me, like at that whole period, because Clint Eastwood gets started in television westerns, Burt Reynolds, all these sort of iconic actors, Steve McQueen, all these guys had to do it's like you had to do your time on a television western before you could move on to other things. Is that a fair assessment of that period?
Well, no, not really.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
You're wrong.
Why can't
No,
you
I mean,
give me
but-
that? Why can't I have that?
You're
Why
wrong.
can't you just say, sure, yeah, fine, Conan, let's move on. Instead, it's no, you're wrong.
You're wrong. Your brother's wrong.
Well, okay, I'm okay with him
Your
being
name's wrong.
wrong. Okay,
Everything.
everything's wrong. My name's wrong?
No, I played the same kind of character
Yeah.
over and over
Right.
again, and nobody noticed. So I don't think I was not on the. I was not on the Clint Eastwood track.
Right,
In,
right,
in
right.
television, I was on the here today and gone tomorrow.
Right.
Track.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's why you're making your living primarily as a carpenter while you're doing these other parts. I'll get a part, and I'm lucky to get this sort of quasi background role
Yeah.
in these little parts. And
Right.
I think,
Still the case.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're hurting. It hasn't gone well for you. I think we can agree on that.
Look, show business has been very, very good to me.
Yes, it has.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think you've been good to show
And-
business.
Well,
I do. I mean, you're very.
I was very lucky. I mean, for years, I did the same old thing. I went from Columbia Pictures to a contract at Universal for $250 a week. That lasted a year and a half. I always could get out of these things just by being a dick.
Really? Is
Yeah.
that how you would get out of it? Was just being kind of unpleasant?
Well, in Columbia's case, Jerry Tarkovsky,
Mm-hmm.
write it down, folks, called me into his office and told me that Mike Frankovich, who was the head of the studio, was in Europe and he'd forgotten to sign my contract when he left. But he was going to suggest to Mike Frankovich, Jerry Tarkovsky, was going to suggest that they drop me anyway because I had no future in the business.
I appreciate and notice that you know their names cold. You have already forgotten mine. But
No, I haven't.
And what is it, please?
It's Conan O'Brien.
Oh my God! I want that on my. That's my outgoing message for the rest of time. I'll get a lot of hang-ups, but I love that when you're in that early part of your career, and this is true of all of us, and someone doesn't see it or someone wrongs you in some way or disrespects you, you never forget that name.
But
I
you're
don't.
not letting me finish any story.
Finally.
Fucking interrupt me. Every time I get to that punchline, you're there to wander it. Jerry Tarkovsky said to me that Mike Frankovich hadn't signed my contract, so and he was going to perhaps I got this far before. He was going to suggest that they drop me.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he would give me 2 weeks' pay till Mike Frankovich came back, because he knew that my wife was pregnant. My wife at the time was pregnant, and I needed the money. I said, no, that's fine. Goodbye. And I was out. That was it.
Why not just take the $250?
It was $150. 2 weeks would have been $300. And that was stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah. Your wife's expecting a child?
Yeah.
That money went a long way back then.
Shit.
What were you doing?
Think about how much money you have now if you kept that.
Exactly. That money invested wisely then
I
would
could
be
be
worth.
making $1,200 a week. Yeah.
It says here in my research that that's what you're getting for the latest Indiana Jones film. I have a very clear memory of the first time I encountered you, which is you had not been on the show yet, and you're easily one of my favorite Hollywood stars, and I'm going to say of all time. And my show is struggling along for a couple of years, and we're just sort of starting to catch. And I could never get a star of Harrison Ford's caliber on the program. That would be unimaginable. I'm almost done. And that exhale was like the last breath of a 1,000-year-old man.
No, I'm just remembering that you never fucking asked me.
We did ask you. You did not. Don't shout at me on my podcast. It's rude.
I'm not shouting.
I'm in Washington, D.C. for the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I'm going to be up there on the dais with Clinton. I've never met Harrison Ford, and I'm on an elevator door that's closing, and all I'm nervous about, how's my set going to go on this thing? Elevator doors are closing, and I've talked about this on the show years ago. Elevator doors closing when I hear a voice say, "Hold the elevator." And I'm thinking, I really got to get upstairs. The door's 2/3 closed. So I don't really try to hit the button when the iconic face of Harrison Ford appears in between the two closing doors and looks right at me, and the door's shut. And I, all the way up to my room, which is on the 8th floor, shit myself the whole way up.
That's what propelled the elevator up.
Yeah, the elevator was not functioning, but it was propelled purely by my, it was a horrifying moment for me. And I apologize again. We recreated the moment on the air. You can see it online where I asked you to, let's recreate the moment, and you gave this amazing death stare into the camera, and we had 2 elevator doors close on it, and I felt the same trauma all over again.
That's how he remembers your name, like Jerry Tarkovsky.
I'm sorry, Harrison. I could have probably, it was a horrible moment for me, and I'm glad that you've come here.
I come here as a friend.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So it's all past. You're not gonna.
No.
You bear no ill will.
No. You're no Jerry Tarkovsky.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me.
So here's the deal. The last time I saw Jerry Tarkovsky was
Jesus, you are obsessed.
Listen, in that office on Gower.
Business to
15 years later, I'm sitting in the executive dining room at at Warner Brothers, and a waiter came over to me in the middle of my meal and on a little tray, and there was a little white card on it. I'd never seen that before, and he proffered the tray. Mm-hmm. I picked up the card. It said, Jerry Tarkovsky, Vice President, blah, 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 whatever. I looked at it, and I looked around the room, and everybody looked like Jerry Tarkovsky. And I turned it over, and on the back, handwritten, was a little note that said, I missed my guess.
Wow.
He was guessing.
Yeah. But I give people credit for, for acknowledging. He acknowledged that.
I thought so too.
Yeah. I give people a lot of credit when someone comes up and says, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like you coming here today to apologize for.
Well, Jerry Tarkovsky didn't quite say he was sorry.
Oh.
He just said that he made a bad bet.
That's not good enough.
By the time I leave here, you will be sorry.
I'm sorry now.
Do these people get to talk at all?
I try to discourage it.
I see. It's working.
The best I can.
Yeah.
So you weigh in because you're having the time of your life.
I am really into this Jerry Tarkovsky character arc because I do think that there's a nice end to it. It is.
It's
Where
over.
is he now?
Exactly.
Okay.
Let's bring him in.
Yeah, he's here.
Well, we have a surprise for you.
Do you have a phone-in number that we could?
No, he is here in person. We arranged all of this. He now cleans pools in Redondo. And he's here to say again that he missed his bet.
Yeah. Oh,
so there
man.
you go. Oh, good. He's taking a drink of water. I'm going to get a question in. So, oh my God, he's not swallowing. Harrison. behavior is not worthy of you. A man of your stature, all you've achieved, this is not worthy
We
of
should
you.
also mention that he's been eating those little cuties, those little orange slices this whole
The
time.
smallest orange I've ever seen. Make a tiny mini nectarine.
Yeah.
A
It's
tangelo, if
adorable.
you will. And
Yeah.
you've been eating it section by section.
Little cuties, they're
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's what I do.
Are you glad he finally piped up?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't this worth it?
Incredible comment about little cuties.
Great.
Think if we didn't have that, think what would we do? What would we do?
Trying to paint a picture for the listener.
I think that's very good. If only there were cameras here.
Why are there cameras here? This is on the.
This is just for tax purposes. I need to be able to show that we made a podcast,
Okay.
and then we get to write it off because I monetize everything. I now own your likeness because you've been on the podcast, and you need to buy it back from me for the new Indiana Jones film to come out. That's how smart I am. That's what makes me different from other people in this business. I'm a real whiz, Harrison. A real whiz.
Wow. Wow.
I saw you at a party recently.
No.
Yeah, I did. I did. And I remember.
I saw you too.
Thank you. I was glad you saw me.
You're hard to miss.
I'm hard to miss.
Yeah.
I kind of stand out, don't I?
Stand up. You
Quite
stand up.
But I just was in a silly mood, and it was fantastic because I walked up to you and I said, I think I'm the new Harrison Ford. And you gave me that great look. And you said, fuck you, I'm Harrison Ford. And I said, well, you've been Harrison Ford for a long time, but there's time for a new one, and it's me. And you said, okay, you can have it. And I thought that was a verbal agreement that maybe I take over.
Oh, what a waste.
What are you talking about? I have the gravitas.
Oh,
I have the
no.
bearing.
What will you do with it?
I would try to, keep the different franchises going.
Oh, no.
Why?
You as Han Solo?
Yeah.
No.
Let's stop this right
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Where was this party? Where was this alleged party?
This was a party, alleged party. You were there. This is a party that was a lot of the Shrinking Gang was there, and which, by the way, you are hilarious on that show. That's a fantastic part, and
Thank
you play it beautifully. And we had a nice time at that party. A bunch of the Shrinking cast was there, and
I remember it now clearly. Clearly,
you were there.
you were there.
And I think you were having maybe a tequila, and I was having
maybe
a little bit of
orange juice.
okay, or it was orange juice. They're very easy to mistake orange juice for tequila in a shot glass. But anyway, I thought we had a real moment there. I thought that you enjoyed my company, and I hate to make this all about me when you've had this incredibly storied career.
I know where you live. And it's not very far from where I live.
Uh-huh.
You could walk over to my house anytime.
Is it true?
No, because
I could walk to your house, but would I get in? If the doorbell rang.
no,
and
you would walk back. But at least you'd make an effort.
I'd make an effort.
And if you really wanted me to notice the roundness of this, if you really wanted me to be your friend, but you didn't.
And it's over now. I had my chance.
No, I think this is your chance. I think you can still redeem yourself.
Oh. Well, how's it going so far?
No, I have friends like you.
Okay.
I really, I mean,
You know circus people? What?
No,
You have no friends like me.
I've always liked you. I liked you. That's why I did your show.
Many times.
Many times.
Yeah.
I did it like, twice?
Oh, no.
4 or 5 times.
You did my show 9 times. You did my show. You have,
And you
right here.
named
9 times.
Really?
Did show
Wow.
9 times. Yeah. Yeah.
what?
You did it 9 times. And you were unfailingly very funny every time.
Yeah,
And one of my favorite things you ever did
yeah.
was we have this person who our fans know very well named Jordan Schlansky, who's a Star Wars obsessive. And he had built a Millennium Falcon out of Legos. And it took him 9 months to build this thing.
Yeah,
And he brought it out and gave a long speech to you
yeah.
about the meaning of his Millennium Falcon.
One of the pieces of memorabilia in my collection, in fact, the flagship piece, is a Lego Millennium Falcon that I put together in 2010. They're selling for about $5,000 now, and it took about 60 man-hours to create. And I display it with pride, but it would really mean the world to me if Harrison could sign it.
Is that okay, Harrison? Wow.
Sure.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Wow.
Now, it's very delicate.
A long time.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I have it sharp. There we go.
That's bad.
And handed it to you. And you threw it up over your head. And it landed on the floor and shattered in a million pieces. And it was the greatest day of my life.
And then he picked up a piece and then signed it.
And you signed it for him. And it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. And by the way, it's a clip online that people adore. They just adore it. It was just a magical moment. And I thank you for that.
Well, those of you at home who don't know how these things work,
Mm-hmm.
let me point out that this was a scripted bit.
Yes, it was.
He didn't build the damn thing. Somebody else
Okay.
in the prop department
This is why.
built the damn thing over probably took him 3 weeks. He probably had to take it home and ask his kid to help him put it together.
Yeah.
And then you built this whole shtick around it, and
Yeah.
you made you
I made you?
suggested
Yes.
suggested that it would be funny
Yes.
if I destroyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I will make it clear. And first of all, this is why you've never.
And you were right.
It was funny.
Yeah. Cruel,
I'm cruel.
but funny.
I'd like to point out that you'd be terrible working with a magician. Because the magician would come out and do a trick where he saws the lady in half and then puts her back together again. And just as the crowd is applauding, Harrison Ford walks out and says, "Excuse me, I'd like to point out that this was all a sad sham. This woman secreted herself into the first half of the box, and those legs are fake." I have picture you as a terrible, terrible magician's assistant. But yes, you just exposed my little trick that delighted millions.
And you just explained to me why people never do imitations of me.
I was just trying to get my voice into a male register. That's all I was trying to do. All I was trying to do.
You tried.
I tried. The only way I can sound like a man is to get down here. And then I'm either Nixon or Harrison Ford. And I am neither one.
You sound a little like Jerry.
You've got to get this man behind. I know now that you wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat yelling this man's name.
Nah.
You won. You won.
No. I haven't. This is the first time I've remembered his name in 15 years.
Mhm.
It just came to me.
I have that effect on people.
You
This is
do.
like a good therapy session for you. I'm freeing you of your past demons.
Oh, my wife is going to be so excited. Really?
I saw Conan today. I'm a new man. All of my demons are gone.
Uh-huh.
I think she's
Yeah.
going to be quite pleased with this transformation.
Yeah.
I
I hope so.
think she will.
I hope so.
And I cherish.
God, I hope so. I've tried everything else.
This is a total meltdown of some kind, which I'm really enjoying. I am very excited, as is especially my friend Matt,
Yeah.
for the upcoming.
He looks
Indiana-
excited.
This is him excited.
Let me tell you how much I can't wait for this.
I in this era now where people are saying, I don't know if I want to go to the theater anymore. The idea of going and seeing a new Indiana Jones movie is absolutely thrilling to me. And
God, I hope they go to the theaters to see it, if they're going to see it at all.
They will.
I wish
They will.
I hope they'll see it in the
I will
theater.
make them personally.
Yeah.
Good.
But I can't imagine. I think there's. I think all of them have been spectacular.
Your family are
So-
not an audience, you know?
No, exactly.
At
Yes.
home,
Yeah.
it's not fair to the movie.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you could see it at home if you wanted to, maybe later,
Right.
but give it a chance. Go to a movie theater.
Yeah.
Be in the dark with strange people.
Well,
Yeah.
I've done that, and I've done that, and I've gone to a movie. One was slightly more erotic than the other, I'll say. But I can't imagine seeing an Indiana Jones film any other way. I just
No.
can't. I think it
No
would
way.
be. I would. And the thing is, I know it's going to be an event because I know that my son, who's 17, loves the franchise. He's going to want to go. I mean, just it's going to be a thing where we can all go as
Yeah.
a family. If they allow me, I get to go too. And
Come on.
I want to see it with an audience. I
Yeah.
want to see it with people.
I've got tickets.
Did you
I've
get them
got
already?
Tickets, yeah.
Yeah.
They're on sale.
Did you pay for them? Because maybe Harrison.
How much does a movie cost these days?
Well,
if
there's
you-
like those two levels, a regular theater, and then they have those lie-down ones where you can get food and take a nap. You know,
No. Okay, Matt.
That's a nice thing to say to Harrison Ford. I bought a napping seat to go see your movie. What the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck?
I'm not
Matt?
saying during his movie.
Right.
Of course not. I've been waiting for this for years, and
Yeah.
those are like $20, $25.
to lay down and have a nap.
Yeah.
So you got the special. Well, wait a minute. You say you don't know. When was the last time you bought a ticket and went into a movie theater? Has it been a while? You're scaring me. When you stare at me like that, you
No.
frighten me to my core.
No, I don't. But I also don't remember the last.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I am. I have seen movies on a big screen.
Yes.
You know, in a theater,
Right. Right.
but there was nobody else in the room.
That's how Howard Hughes did it.
That's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weren't you just at the Cannes Film Festival? You probably saw some.
Yeah. So I saw the new Indiana Jones movie.
That's right. You sat in an audience.
Yeah.
I've seen
That's
pictures
the
of
last
you.
time.
That guy's really good.
Yeah. Were
I
you-
got
did-
in for free.
I would have loved it if they had stopped you and you had been looking for your ticket at the Cannes premiere of Indiana Jones. Yeah. So you were there, and that's.
Yeah.
I know that you've experienced
That was
everything
like
one can
10
experience.
days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything one can experience in this business at the highest
I-
level, but that still has to be exciting.
What part?
Cannes Film Festival. You're going up the big red carpet.
Yeah.
Beautiful wife on your arm. You go
Yeah.
inside, a whole crowd of those
Yeah.
fancy French people,
Yeah.
and then your movie comes up.
Yeah.
A storied franchise, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have to think that there's be some part of you that would say, yes, this is
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna wait for
No,
it.
it was actually a pretty interesting experience.
Yeah.
I haven't been there for a while, but I had been there in the past, but with other even Indiana Jones movies.
Mm-hmm.
anyway, it was a beautiful projection system, great room, lots and lots of people. But they weren't like a real audience.
Right.
I mean, they had tuxedos and beautiful gowns on and stuff like that.
Right.
So it didn't. I want to see it with an ordinary rabble.
Yeah.
I got an extra ticket.
Yeah, we can all go together.
Yeah.
If you'd like.
4 of us.
Yeah.
If you'd like, we'll all go together. In fact,
When
Eduardo, you're invited as well.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
This is the,
Blay,
this is the
I'll
5th.
check your schedule. Yes, no, Blay, you're in.
This is the 5th, right?
Yeah.
Of June.
Yeah, it's June 5th. Yeah.
June 5th. The movie comes out June 30th.
I believe so.
Correct.
Let me check my incorrect.
Yeah.
It says
You
here.
would know.
I already know it's
Yeah,
true.
June
June
30th.
30th. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, it says it on the ticket, right?
Mhm.
So we wait here.
Mhm.
Until-
25 days.
You'll wait here for 25 days.
I like
Yeah.
this.
I'll have food brought in for you
Okay.
We do this show every day.
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
do now.
Yeah, now we do,
Yeah.
and you're the only guest every
Uh-huh.
day. And
Cool.
so we call it's a special promotional month of Harrison Ford. And it's you every day for an hour.
I promised I wouldn't do this.
What are you doing?
Get excited.
If that's your orgasm,
I know. What is
you're
that
a disgusting
now?
man. What do you?
I'm just tensing up in excitement. You
That's
made
not
it,
what it
you
sounds
made it
like.
disgusting.
That's not what it sounds
You're
like.
filthy minded.
It did sound
I
sexual.
apologize. I apologize for my partner.
No, it did sound sexual.
Thank
though.
you,
It
Sona.
might
Yeah.
have been. It might have been.
Well, anyway,
Sorry.
glad I brought this creep along.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Ford,
Do it again.
you make me blush, I declare.
Where did you get
do
that?
declare.
Where did you get that southern fan?
I do declare.
A man.
You had to be here.
Oh no! Yeah, this is.
No, you got
This is
cameras.
good stuff. It's all. Yeah, you'll see. You'll see. This is all going to turn around for you. This podcast. This morning, when you were coming here, did you have a second of thinking, "What? I'm going to do what?" Conan O'Brien has a tiny radio show in a little room. Was there a point where you did a 180 and started headed home?
no, I didn't. I was curious.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious about it, but then I got here and I see this is really kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, this shit's not free.
No, this is this is a
And this-
state-of-the-art studio designed here by Eduardo.
Really?
And
Nice, man.
yeah, a beautiful building that we have, a
Yeah.
large complex. We
Yeah.
do many.
And there are like probably there's 6 people here.
outside. Yeah.
Outside, there's another 20 people.
Yeah.
What did they do?
Well, first of all, a lot of them are here because you're here. Yeah. And I hate to throw people under the bus, but when Nick Kroll rolls in, they're not here. I'm sorry, Nick, but you're going to take a bullet for this one.
Yeah.
Who's Nick Kroll?
Exactly.
Is he like Jerry Tchaikovsky?
He's my Jerry Tchaikovsky. He's a very funny, brilliant comic and actor. And I threw him
that Nick Kroll.
Yeah, I threw him under the bus for no reason other than his name came to mind, and I
Yeah.
thought I'm friendly enough with him that I can do this in this moment.
Mhm.
So that was undeserved, and Nick, my apologies, but you got a shout out. I'm talking here with Harrison Ford,
Hey,
and also, yeah,
let me
it's not-
say his name again.
yeah,
Nick Kroll.
yes, there you go. Now, see, all is forgiven. He's just thrilled.
Yeah.
He's thrilled now.
Yeah,
But no,
it's
we
easy.
do have, this is a big operation, and many, many, many people will hear this,
Yeah.
and they'll say Conan does interrupt too often,
Mhm.
and he should shut up, and he should let Harrison talk.
Nah. Should let these other people talk a little bit
Mm.
because they've got microphones in front of them.
Yeah.
They
And
don't.
you have not said one fucking word.
Can I say something?
You know, it's your last day at work, so why not? Go for it.
Well, I would just like to say that I dressed up a little bit today out of because I'm a huge fan, and every single person in the office has commented, "Oh, you dressed up, you look nice." So do I just normally look terrible? I just put on a button down. I'm sorry to bring this interview
Use
down.
the opportunity to ask a question about himself.
I know. Are you crazy?
You finally got the mic.
No, I'm sorry.
You're the biggest. You're the biggest. Next to
Shut
Matt.
the fuck up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Harrison. I'm sorry.
You
What are we
spent your
doing?
one bullet on that?
You missed
Who
your
is
guess.
this guy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is why I don't let him have the microphone.
Yes, sorry.
So anyway, what do you think about what I'm wearing, Harrison? Do you like it? Is it nice?
I'm sorry.
Jesus. We're wearing almost the same thing.
See, we're almost matching.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I didn't bring it up. I didn't think we'd take some of Conan's valuable time to talk about what you and I are wearing.
I have to say, this is
Humiliating.
this is humiliating. This is humiliating for me. It was humiliating for you the minute you walked through that door.
Nah,
You've-
come on.
You are a
know,
colossus.
you know, I'm just-
a colossus.
Yeah.
And then the minute you walked in here, it was all diminished.
Yeah.
Your career's through, Harrison. It's over.
Okay.
I've just been told that Shrinking no longer wants you.
Yep.
They're getting a new Indiana Jones.
Oh my god.
Yeah, been replaced. Nick Kroll will take over that role. What are you doing?
He's removing the belly button.
You're
mark.
removing. That's a little mark that keeps you on the belly button there, so that you always see your lighting is just perfect, and you removed it. You're a carpenter. Do you like our table? What do you think?
Yeah, it's nice. Everything is nice here.
It's nice, yeah. We did a
It's
really
very
good job.
tasteful and nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you say? You, me, maybe we start hanging out a little more regularly.
Well, I thought we had this daily podcast deal.
He
Like,
was
don't ruin
clearly
this.
kidding. No, that's not.
I don't think
he'll
he
never
will.
see you again. The
No.
door, it's over for you.
We're
It's really over
no,
for Clay.
we're going to
movies?
Chipotle after.
We're going to Chipotle. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot of time left. I'm 80.
You look fantastic. by the way.
Unbelievable.
Well,
Unbelievable.
yeah. So you can be my friend.
hmm
What would we do together?
You and I.
Yeah.
I see us getting a meal.
We could get
and
a
then
meal.
We
Yeah.
get a meal. Probably
Should we
both
take
live.
the girls?
I think
Our
we should.
wives.
I think we should take.
I can't say girls.
No, I can't do that. I think we take the ladies. I
Yeah.
take my wife. You take your wife. We go to a nice place. We get and then you and I take a little stroll afterwards. We lose the ladies. You and I walk along the ocean in Santa Monica. And we look at the moon for a little while, the way fellas do.
Oh.
And it's a nice way to digest. And
I'm digesting it right now.
people will say,
Yeah.
there's Harrison Ford.
And Conan
Who's that
O'Brien.
tall lady with him?
He's taking a new lover.
Why is he out on the town with that very strange tall woman?
And why are our wives
Why are they not included?
letting? Yeah.
Well, why are they letting it happen?
Yeah. They're better than that.
Yes, they are. We both married up. Harrison, I want to say in all sincerity, and you do not.
This is it, huh? This is.
You're not someone who encourages, sincerity. So much foolishness and laughing, but I'm not kidding when I say that people turned up today who I haven't seen in a long time.
Like me.
Just to, yes,
Like
exactly.
me.
Just to watch you walk through the door, and you mean the absolute world to people. And you should have been in this room last week when it was confirmed that you were coming on the podcast. I believe Matt openly wept Blade jumped out a window.
Yeah.
Sona took an edible, but she does anyway.
Yeah, I do that regularly anyway.
Yeah, she's pretty high.
Although I am excited you're here. But I just
she's
did what I normally
major.
do.
Yeah.
She's got a problem.
Okay, not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, we all have an edible from time to time.
You don't do that.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I wish I did. I think it'd be good for me. But my point, Harrison, and I eventually do get to my point, my listeners will tell you that, is that it was an absolute joy having you here. And I will say again, you're one of my favorite funny people. You are so funny in an original, dry way, and you're just the whole way you come across. I've always loved having him on the show, always. And I love now, too, that in Shrinking, people get to see you be so hilariously funny. Nope, wasn't written down. That was that was all genuine.
No, it's 10 times now. I've done it.
Oh, yeah.
I've done you 10 times.
I've done you 10 times.
Yeah, you are done.
That's it? 10?
Nah, just for me.
If this was... Hey, if this were it, I would be quite happy. I would be quite happy with that. Seriously, it's...
it was fun for me, too.
You know what? It's an honor to know you and a blast. And God, you make me laugh. So thank you very much for doing this. And I'll be by in about 48 hours.
I'm counting on it.
No, you'll be there waiting.
To turn you away.
To turn me away. Personally turn me away. It's been a while since in the old days they would throw a guy out of a bar by grabbing the back of his shirt and his belt and throw him out. That is how Harrison is going to throw me off of his property.
What a way to go.
Man, no, nothing like that. You're a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an old man. That would never happen.
You could beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
No.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I say we never do this, but round of applause for Harrison Ford. Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Seriously.
thank you.
Yeah. That's all I got.
That's it?
You're free to go.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Right.
I don't know why you're crying.
I'm happy.
Oh, good.
I'm glad I came. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
And you got a friend.
Thank you. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about us?
Yeah.
Don't push it.
No.
Fair.
I think that's a smart choice.
Yeah.
Honestly, I respect that. Sona, this is big news. You're giving the commencement speech for the Mount San Antonio, informally known as Mount Sac College commencement
No,
graduation?
I'm not giving the commencement address. It's
Okay.
a 2-minute speech.
Okay.
Wait, I thought you were giving the commencement address.
No, I'm alumna of the year.
Uh-huh.
For
Hey, congratulations. That's
Congratulations.
I don't like the way you said that.
Cool. What did you...
Didn't it? Is that nor? Would you?
I was congratulating you,
Okay.
sincerely.
I
That was
think that
sincere?
was delivered sincerely with the understanding that an insult was to follow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but later, like in 20 minutes.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
off mic.
And unrelated to this. No,
Okay.
Oh,
Sona, I really am honestly proud of you.
Thank
I'm
you.
very proud of you've accomplished a lot, and I was saying a nice thing to you.
that's nice.
I
I'm sorry.
honestly was.
The way you said it was just very. I'm sorry.
Jesus
Thank you.
Christ.
Sorry, but it was. You had a tone.
That's my nasal voice. I can't help it. You're like, you had a tone, and your lips were thin, and your eyes were beady.
Oh.
Yeah, that's me. I can't help that.
No, but they named me alumna of the year. I went to a community college before I transferred to USC. I'm very proud of my time there. And then they named me alumna of the year. And you did an interview for the video they're going to show at commencement. And I found out recently there's going to be like 12,000 people there.
12,000. That's a big crowd.
Yeah.
That's a big crowd.
I know.
But wait a minute. You're always talking about how you were a speech champion
Yes,
when you
national
were.
speech champion. Yes.
Yeah.
National.
You bring that up all the time.
You
bring that up when they pull you over
week.
for a DUI. You're like, now it's national speech champion. All right, you're free to go. Here's some more alcohol. Thank you, officer.
The officer gives me alcohol.
Hair of the dog.
Yeah. We didn't realize you were a national speech champion. Here's much more vodka. Thank you, officer. Well, it's officer, not thofficer, but I still refuse to give you a blood alcohol test. So I think you're going to be fine. Do you know what you're going to talk about?
Yeah, give us the first line. Give us a little preview.
Well, I'm doing it in they built a brand new stadium that we're going to have the graduation in.
I thought you were going to say I'm doing it in an accent.
No. They built this brand new stadium at the school. So my first line is, thanks for building this stadium for
solid.
me.
That's solid.
Good. I like that.
Stupid.
That's great.
It's stupid.
No,
That'll
that's
work.
Good.
But there's not like a lot of jokes. It's not like
You got to have jokes.
Will you write it for me?
Well,
You've done
oh, wait,
two.
I won't write them for you.
Oh, right.
Because there's a Writers Guild strike.
Yeah.
So I refuse to help you with this.
Well, I thought.
And I hope you bomb.
Yeah.
Go WGA.
Yeah, you producer, you
What?
ruthless scab producer.
I thought you couldn't write shows and stuff. You could write a commencement address.
I think I can.
It's a union
Wait,
gig.
for reals? It's not union at all. It's me.
No,
It's just a 2-minute speech.
You're the man. You're the man now,
Yeah,
dog.
you know what you are? I'm sick of your boot on my throat.
Yeah.
You've written two.
Wait, why don't you get AI to write it, you asshole?
I know I should.
You should get AI to
But
do it.
you've written two of like really well-known commencement addresses that were like longer than 2 minutes. Can I borrow some from your Harvard class day speech or Dartmouth address?
No, you cannot. But also, how much time did you say you have?
2 minutes?
There's no such thing as a speech that's 2 minutes long.
No, that's are you sure they're being square with you? You're not just introducing someone?
No, but there's a 3-minute video and then there's a 2-minute. I get 5 minutes. I'm just
First
like
of
this
all,
little blip.
Can I say something? They say 2 minutes, but you're going to take more than 2 minutes because there's no such thing as a 2-minute speech.
Oh, well, I wrote it.
That's called ordering a pizza.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, but still, that's
Why can't
high.
I just take stuff that you wrote?
Well, it won't match.
Okay.
Plagiarism.
Well, but also it just won't match your personal experience. You have such a different background than me. And you have a great story to tell. Coming to this country.
Oh,
no.
come on.
A boat that you made out of Brillo pads, sewn together with beeswax that had been dried and turned into twine. You forged a path across a mighty sea.
Yeah.
You have a great story to tell. And also, what I think is very cool, and I'm being sincere here, is, you start at this community college and look what you've achieved. I think that's very cool.
It is. And I'm shocked because there's a lot of really impressive alumni that have come out of there. So when they first said I was the alumna of the year, I was like, why?
Who are they? Are there anyone we'd know?
No.
Oh,
I have to be honest with you, though. I think it'll be an inspiration for all of them.
Yeah.
To see you, because you do have a lot of fans and you are an impressive person. And I think I'll tell you, I think it's also, good for these people to see I think you're still able to connect to young people. I think you're a very youthful person. So it's
that's nice.
You're not a stodgy old person saying, now let me tell you something. When I was a boy,
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, you shouldn't say when you were a boy because you weren't. But I think it's going to go really well.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I've gone back to Mount Sac a few times to talk to the students, and I can't tell you how many people love you, which I was surprised.
Don't say that.
And these are educated people?
Well, she says people.
Well, no,
she means some of the farm animals hanging out
they're young
in the agricultural lab.
They're super young, and they're like, not that, I know I'm like saying, I always think that they're just like into like Taylor Swift and like Billie Eilish and like,
There's big crossover between my fans and Billie Eilish fans and Taylor Swift fans. I'm convinced of that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because you convinced yourself doesn't mean that it's true.
On her current tour, Taylor often starts the show by saying, how many Conan fans we got in the crowd? And the place erupts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not seen any footage of that at all.
I haven't seen it either. And I haven't even heard about it, but I'm pretty sure it's happening because of my power to deceive myself is absolutely increcible.
That's impressive.
Conifties.
Yeah, Conifties are the. I'm a Conifty. Excuse me, what's that? A Taylor Swift fan who's also a Conan O'Brien fan. Okay, how many are there?
I said
None.
I'm a Conifty.
I'm the Conifty.
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Are you the? And you know what? It's like this rare bird that no one's seen in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Are you the Conifty? Someone who loves Taylor Swift, but also loves that fringe weirdo?
They photoshopped a picture of the two of you, like just together hanging out.
Yep. So cool. Well, when is it happening? It's happening very soon.
Well, by the time the audience hears this, it will have already happened on June 9th.
Okay.
So
Do you get to wear a gown and a mortarboard and all
Yeah.
that? That's nice.
I know.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool.
Do you get a special like scarf of some kind,
I
like
don't
in
know.
Nexium?
I have no idea.
Are they going to give you any kind of doctorate? You get a doctorate?
Come on.
I don't know.
You got an honorary doctorate?
I'm not sure. I think from Dartmouth they said something. I don't know. I don't
don't be
remember what.
coy.
I'm not being coy. I honestly don't know. They put something around we got to look up what I got.
I'm pretty sure he got a doctorate.
Yeah, but I know that I wanted it to be an oral surgeon. I wanted to actually be a doctor afterwards and then be able to open up.
Doctor of Arts.
I'm a doctor of arts.
Doctor of Arts.
Jesus.
I'm a doctor of arts.
Come on.
Motherfuckers. Is there a doctor in it? I wish next time I'm on an airplane and something happens, they go like, is there a doctor here? Hello! I am a doctor of arts from Dartmouth. And I'm going to push my way to the front. Well, this person seems to be having a heart attack. Have you got a book? Maybe Thackeray? Or one of the Bronte sisters?
Care to talk about the contrapposto of the statue, David?
Because on those matters, I'm good to go.
He's passed.
He's dead. He's dead. He died while you were talking about the Brontes. Well, I did what I could. I suppose that makes me some kind of hero.
Excuse me, I'm an actual doctor and I couldn't get up here because this asshole was blocking the aisle.
I'm actually a pulmonary specialist. I could have saved this man by doing chest compressions. That's all well and good. But I got here first because I'm a doctor of the arts. Well, all right. Let's wrap it up, gang.
Congratulations, Sona.
Congratulations
to those students.
And you know what?
Hey.
My advice to you is enjoy it. That's a moment when you're up there. Take it in and you have a tendency to go, oh, no, blah, blah. Take it in. That's a really nice moment.
Okay.
They'll be thrilled that you're there and enjoy it. And we're really proud of you.
Oh, that's very cool. Thanks, guys.
All right. Peace
Aw,
out. Tupac. I want to make sure I mention your book, too. You've been
thank you.
busy. You have a
I
new
didn't
memoir.
want to be a schnorrer, which is a Yiddish term meaning like
I
a
learned
pig,
that word
like a
from
taker.
Groucho Marx.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to sing a song about I'm not a schnorrer, which I think
really?
was...
Wow.
Yeah, Captain Spaulding, I think, has the
Okay.
word schnorrer in it. My name is Captain Spaulding, the African explorer. I'm no schnorrer. Hooray,
I
hooray,
love
hooray.
that. Oh,
And I remember as a
little Yiddish.
kid as being a huge fan of the Marx Brothers and
Yeah.
thinking, schnorrer? What's schnorrer?
Yeah.
And then someone explained it to me.
Oh, that's a great feeling for a Jewish person who knows some Yiddish to explain it to somebody because when you show interest, we get very excited.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys, and by say you guys, I mean the Jewish people, have the greatest phrase of all time, which works for everything. Oi.
Oi.
And
Oh,
it's
I know.
perfect. And you know what it's perfect for? Texts. Because people tell
Yeah.
me stuff and it's really heavy
Yeah.
and you don't have time. And sometimes I just say, oi,
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah,
And
exactly.
you can picture the face, the emoji that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And it's
It's the same face of when all the pastrami falls out of the sandwich.
It's Billy Crystal's Mr. Saturday Night character. That's what I picture.
So Misfit, growing up awkward in the 80s, is your memoir.
Yes.
And was this cathartic for you? Because you've talked about it a lot, and I think very, people say, oh, it's brave, and I think it's like, well, it's great that you talk about your struggles with mental health, and I applaud that, but it's that you do it with so much empathy, and you do it so intelligently, and you're funny about it.
Oh, thanks.
And I think that is that's a bomb. That's worth that's worth all the Prozac in the world, you know?
I mean, it was something that I aspired to over the years to finally get to a point where I was far enough away from it that, and also that it was sort of a success story of I overcame this, because in the midst of it, I wasn't able to write about it. And also my brain wasn't working well enough and I didn't have enough confidence, but I was so elated and grateful to be on the other side of my depression, which I received ECT about 4 months before I did that abbreviating the states thing. And
Really?
Yeah. And so I'd been,
ECT, just
yeah,
to
the
be
electroconvulsive therapy I was inpatient in Weill Cornell Hospital, New York Presbyterian in Manhattan. And then
And you said one of the patients actually recognized
me from TV, and yeah, he said, "Am I crazy? Or are you Gary Goldman?" Which is, I mean, you can write an entire act.
Apparently both.
Yeah. You are crazy, but I'm getting that from context.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not because you think I'm Gary Goldman, although I would say maybe shoot higher for who you're imagining. You can imagine anybody.
Napoleon.
Yeah.
There's so many people to aim for.
Yes, yeah. And so anyhow, I was so grateful, and I wanted to tell the story because I wanted to share that there's hope, because that was one thing my doctor and my wife never gave up on me, but I gave up on myself many, many times. I kept going through the motions and trying new medicine and treatments, and ECT finally was the thing that worked in the hospitalization, and it got me to a level that I had never experienced in my life. I had spent my entire life sort of working at 70, 75%, sometimes 80% if I could get some momentum. And then it had kind of a cycle where I would be productive for 9 months and then I would fall apart and have to start all over again. So it was very frustrating. But since I have been, I guess I would say, in remission, that was probably October of 2017, I've had the most joy and experienced life in a way without the heaviness and the fatigue that accompanied a lot of my depressive episodes. So I'm so grateful. So I was happy to share this story so that it would give some people hope, because what I didn't realize is that people thought, I used to think when somebody famous would either commit suicide or come out about being depressed, I would say, well, why would that person be depressed? And I didn't realize that I could be that for some people, that some people would say, oh, if he can get depressed, and then it's not a matter of accomplishing something. It's a matter of chemistry. Yeah. And that's the thing that's very hard for people to understand, because the same thing you're trying to work with is telling you this isn't chemistry. It's you. You're lazy, you're dumb, you're untalented. So it was important that I was able to get that story
I'm guilty of
out.
the same thing when I was a kid, or even well into my teens and 20s, when I would hear about a brilliant author or just a performer I loved, or anyone getting really depressed, and I would think, but I don't understand.
Yeah. Elvis?
Why would Elvis be depressed?
Yeah.
Why would anyone who has that be depressed? And then, as you go through life, you realize that material things, success, or getting recognized it's nice, but it is really true that it doesn't have anything to do with your brain chemistry. And sometimes it can exacerbate it and make it feel worse.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I have this. And
this was supposed to be the thing that made me feel good about myself.
Yeah. So many people get into comedy or get into this business because they think, once I get that, and everyone knows who I am, and I'm driving a car that looks like that, then all my problems will be over. And when it doesn't happen, rage.
Painful.
Rage.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about myself.
But it was
rage mostly that the car isn't nicer.
Oh, well, okay.
I mean, come on. Tesla's nice, but I want a Bugatti. And I never got one. And that fucking sled. Sprawled out, but it's not mine.
Did the toboggan have a name?
Yeah, exactly. That when I die, I'm just gonna say toboggan. It'll be like all these reporters will be scattered.
Bobo.
Yeah, toboggan. Yeah, whatever. Glide right. You are. Well, I'll just say it again. Pleasure to know you.
That's so nice to hear. I feel the same way. You've brought me so much joy.
I really admire you because you're such a highly intelligent and empathetic comedian, and you do such beautiful work. You've been through a lot, which makes me sad, but also you've come through the other side, and you're very honest about it. I think it's going to help a lot of people. But mostly, if I didn't know any of this, I watch these specials, I watch your comedy. Every time I've seen you perform, I think, man, that guy is so gifted. He thinks so differently than everyone else. And everything is so crafted and beautifully done, the work that goes into it. So thank you. What you do is, as the Irish say, a mitzvah.
I'm pinching myself because that means so much to me, but also, and this was one of the things I wanted to mention, just the exposure you gave me on that show all those times was, I mean, it changed my life and it gave me a touring career. So I'm so grateful for what you've brought to me, even before I was on the show, just the joy in knowing that, there are other people who find this funny. And I thought it was just...
Well, we found each other.
Yeah.
And now we're two gangly, depressed guys from Massachusetts who know each other.
Who love to read.
Yay, us.
Yeah. I love that interview you did with Stephen Wright on his book, Harold.
Oh, my God,
which was such an incredible book. And he was a guy I listened to growing up who made me so happy,
He led the way for
Yeah.
so many people.
But you made him laugh so hard that it was just a different side of Stephen
You know what's so
Wright.
funny?
My gosh, you were killing him.
The universal comment I've heard, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but it's funny how many people have said this.
Yeah.
All these comedians that have never heard him laugh.
Yes.
And I was thinking the same thing.
Yes.
Which is, he laughs.
Oh my gosh.
Because he's so straight all the time.
But he's such a kind, generous,
wonderful,
humble. I mean, humble.
Yeah. He's a
Beyond
magical.
humble. Yeah.
He is a magical,
he's really special. Yeah.
magical man with a hideous Boston accent. But what are you going to do? Your obsession with comedy, or your interest in comedy, goes way back to when you were a kid, and you got to do something that I dreamed of doing but never got to do, which is you got to go to a live taping of Johnny Carson's Tonight Show.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something I never experienced.
Oh,
Can you
wow.
tell me what that was like?
Yes. I was 13. I had just been bar mitzvahed, and my brother Max had gone to spring break and been bumped 3 times. And back then in the
From the audience.
No, I'm sorry. That made it sound like my brother Max was a guest on the Tonight Show with Carson. No, he'd been bumped by the airline.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Flying on spring break, and so he had gotten these tickets. I don't know if they were round trip, but they afforded my mother and I to go to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
My brother couldn't use them because he was starting a job in Florida. So he gave them to us. We used them to go to Los Angeles, stayed with my cousin Della. We waited in line and got tickets to get into but I was 13. You had to be 16 to get into a live taping, but I was already 5'11", or almost 6 feet.
Right.
And so my mother said, he's 16. And then I got in and I said, oh my God, we made it. And then an usher said, excuse me, how old are you? And my mother got right in her face and she said, do you think I would take a child into something as important as the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson? And my mother, I mean, the lying.
God
was
bless
just,
her.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She really got
I
in her
want
face.
your job. Be great if she got that kid fired.
Yeah.
And ruined her
She was
life.
so convincing. I felt like I was 16.
Yeah.
I had just turned 13. And anyhow, it couldn't have been a better. First of all, Johnny did the monologue and he screwed up one of the lines and retook it. And then when they went to break, he said, I really blew the shit out of that joke. And I said, oh my gosh, he swore.
Yeah.
And you didn't hear Johnny Carson.
Well, you know what? I talked to
swear.
Robert Smigel, told me that he went to a taping of Johnny Carson, and Johnny Carson, when he knew it wouldn't, because it was pre-taped, said shit in front of the crowd and they went wild. So that I think that was something he liked to do, because everyone thought, back then the idea of someone that you knew on TV that intimately saying the word shit was impossible.
Yes.
And so that must have been electrifying.
It was electrifying. And then the guest was Carrie Fisher and Gary Shandling.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. So Princess Leia at her Leiaist. And then this.
And Gary at his Shandlingist.
Oh my gosh. And then this comedian who I only knew from the Tonight Show. And he was so funny. And then he did this bit with, it wasn't a bit, I guess, but it came off as a bit with Carrie Fisher, where he says, I know your parents, Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher. Do you know my parents, Irv and Muriel Shandling? And I was in love. I was like, here's this guy who's Jewish, neurotic, and miserable, yet he's flirting with Carrie Fisher. And it was that was the thing that I always found so interesting about comedians. They really had nothing to speak of in terms of being attractive to women, but they had all this confidence in it, and it really captured me at a very, very young age. I was like, that is the only way I'm ever going to get married, is if I'm super funny like Shandling or somebody like that.
That's fascinating, because I realize, I've talked about this a lot, but I think that kids naturally, I'm going to back it up because I think this is the analogy I've made, but I think when you play a video game, you're told, here are your powers or here are your weapons. You get like an inventory.
Yeah.
And I think all kids throughout history take an inventory early on. And I remember my feeling as a kid for me was, what are all the necessary things I need and not having them? Like,
Wow.
Do I have the looks that a girl? No. Am I an athlete? No. Am I this? Am I not? And I just remember kept going through. And then when I found out that I could make people laugh, thinking, all right, I've got this. I'm going to develop the fuck out of this.
Yes.
I'm going to.
Yes.
And then being able to, and mostly being interested in, I want that girl to like me. So.
Yeah.
And then the big barrier is she's laughing really hard, but I see her going to the dance with that other guy.
Oh, yeah.
But
He's not as funny.
He's not as...
Or his comedy is not as well worked out.
Right, exactly. No, he has no comedy, but he has a developed body.
Yeah.
Who needs that?
Yeah.
My shallow chest should be enough for anyone.
And I
My wasted legs? What's wrong with these? My 19th century cough, the little bits of pink foam from dissolving lung. What's wrong with that?
Why are you saying those things, though?
My dad took care of everyone but me. A brilliant scientist who never noticed that I was dying of consumption.
You were the control experiment.
I was the control experiment.
I think consumption is my favorite old-timey disease because a lot of people will go tuberculosis, but the people who are familiar go consumption.
Consumption. Also, I love...
What?
It's true. Oh, it's total. I'm totally with Gary on... Look, you and I speak the exact same language. I like that people used to have stuff called the flux.
Yeah. Or
And-
they'd call you a lunger.
lunger. If you had a lung,
consumption or
if you had consumption, they'd call you a
tuberculosis,
lunger.
Yeah.
But also, I love that when you got sick back then, they would apply a poultice. They would apply a mustard poultice to your chest, which basically means, just covering your chest with
Vicks
mustard.
Vapo rub.
Yeah, exactly. but they did it for like someone would get shot in the head. I believe when Lincoln was dying of a bullet the size of an Oreo cookie in his brain, they were like, apply a poultice. A mustard poultice will save the president.
Did it work?
Kinda. Because when he died, he smelled like a hot dog. And people weren't quite as sad.
I'm sure there were other poultices. There was the mustard.
I always hear about mustard.
The remoulade poultice. The tapenade poultice. That way he doesn't pull through, but we have a dip. We have a dipping sauce.
No, at the end,
Triscuits.
after Lincoln died, everyone sat around and they were very sad. And Seward said, now he belongs to the ages. And then somehow someone produced a bag of tortilla chips. And they just started dipping into this stuff. Little salsa. They all just start crunching. Mary Lincoln comes in. What are you doing? Well, we can't let this go to waste. The coffin isn't here yet. You and I have a bunch of things to talk about. Okay. First of all, I want to compliment you in another way, which is you have a stand-up special which has dropped literally 2 days ago, I think. Okay, now everyone's correcting me with 4. Oh, great, because we would have had a lot of calls. Why did you guys have to correct me on that?
Because you were looking at us like, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just say, yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah,
Close
sure.
enough, idiot. That's all I need.
You were wrong.
It's just wrong with a soft
Don't
G.
do it here now.
It's not
Don't
wrong,
do it here now. Don't do it in front of Gary, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't you mean Jerry?
Yeah. Born on Third Base is your stand-up special, and it's hilarious. Now,
thank
full
you.
disclosure, I'm such a fan that I had some involvement with my people in helping to bring this to reality. But I'm saying this as someone who hates himself.
How can that be?
I'd be more than happy to shit on it if I could. It's really, really funny and
thank
beautifully
you.
done.
Thank you.
It's really nice, and so I'm congratulations.
Well, I had a lot of fun touring it, and the people liked it, and I shot it in Toronto, where they're just so nice and really love comedy, and so I'm,
Oh my
I'm
God, Canada,
very grateful.
Toronto.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's where that's where my ghost is going to go when it roams the earth, doing bits. It's going to go up to Toronto.
Because they're taste and they're so nice.
They're really smart, and they laugh, and they're fun.
Yeah.
And what's wrong? Why are you looking at me
No,
like that?
What a weird thing to say.
I don't wanna
that
go
your
up to-
ghost is going to go to Toronto and you're just going to do bits?
Yeah, I don't want to go to heaven. Heaven sounds boring.
Okay. You're
I
just
don't
want
wanna
to be
go
stuck
up-
in like this purgatory.
I don't want to go talk to Eleanor Roosevelt on a cloud. I want to go up to Toronto and do bits, and then go to a cool restaurant
But
afterwards.
wouldn't heaven, by definition, be a bunch of people who love your bits?
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
Okay.
That seems patronizing. I wouldn't like that.
But you think, I'm sorry, just going back to this, you think you're going to go to Toronto, you're going to appear as a ghost, and people are just going to be like, let's see what bits he has.
Yes. What's the Gary? If you were in Toronto and you knew that I had passed away in the last year or two, and you heard that my ghost was in Toronto and he was doing bits somewhere, wouldn't you check him out?
I would check them out, and then I would also spend a lot of time seeing Rush.
Yeah.
But no, in this scenario, they're dead too. But they're also playing.
No. This is my idea of heaven. Rush is touring, and Conan is doing stand-up associated with it.
Yeah.
And we're also spending time breaking down some of the licks, the guitar licks and things like that, and also the
I love it.
The
See?
drum solos.
This man gets me.
This
Okay.
is
Now
Now
it
listen,
makes sense.
Gary, you are a fellow Massachusetts masshole like
Peabody.
myself. You're from
Yes.
Peabody.
Yes.
And you talk about this a lot in your special, and you've touched on it before, but it really does inform a lot of your comedy, which is, I think, quite beautiful. But you grew up poor. You grew up. There's no other way to say it. You
we
grew
were
up poor.
we were broke Jewish people, which people think, oh, that's a thing, and but it really, most of us, especially in that time of in the 70s, a lot of people were broke. So yes, half the Jews would be broke too, right? Everybody was, yeah. So and that informed me. It developed my personality in terms of my resentment towards certain kids growing up who had more than us, and it didn't have to be much. It could be an above ground pool, and I would be like, oh, look at the opulence. These people, they don't know what it is to struggle, and Christmas used to just blow me away. These kids would just get so much for Christmas,
Right.
and I would get a thing. 8 nights of a thing, but some of them were practical, which you don't want for holidays.
Like what? Well, give me an example of a practical Hanukkah gift.
I remember everybody says socks, but I would get pajamas, which I very rarely wore,
Right.
because it just that it was either freezing cold in my house, which required an electric blanket, which I can't even believe those things were legal at the time. They were just fire starters, but also
you
could be electrocuted.
I just know this in Massachusetts. But every time a house burned down,
Yes.
in the 50s, 60s, or
Yes.
70s, you'd see firemen walking away afterwards.
Yeah.
Because I'd hang out at these things, and they'd always, as a true arsonist does.
Yes.
But they'd always be like shaking their heads, going, and you'd always read in the paper that it was an electric blanket.
An electric blanket, or there would be a fire chief holding up a melted light bright.
Yes, yes.
And hopefully it would be the clown, because the clown face would melt into a frown.
Yeah.
Because he was upset by this as well. The clown,
sure,
not just the fire chief.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the two biggest fire causes.
Because
I
what
think,
could
in
go
the
wrong
70s.
if you took mid 20th century knowledge of electrical wiring and ran it through a bunch of cotton and nylon? Like, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
And then you go to sleep
driest
and
time
just
of year.
crank this thing.
Yes.
So people would just burst into flames.
Yeah.
So you grow up. in Peabody, and what's interesting is you said that it gave you a completely different perspective than a lot of kids have when you grew up not having. You grew up not having stuff, and so that you knew just by rote what things cost.
Oh yes, yes,
and
yes.
You had that all down, which you said when you don't have money, you know all of this stuff.
Yes, that's what always irritated me. I remember I had this neighbor who went to a summer camp, and I was interested in it because he came back with and this is a phenomenon of Jewish summer camps where these kids who were kind of average athletics and attractiveness would go to summer camp and they would walk taller when they returned because they were they had culled all the Gentile kids from the group. So it was just the Jews were standing out, and the only choice the girls had or the boys had were other Jewish people. So that there was this thing, and they would be so confident, and because they had made out with a girl over the summer, where they weren't getting any makeout sessions in junior high or seventh grade or anything. And then they would come back in the fall, and they had more confidence. And I envied this, and I remember asking the kid, "Well, how much does this thing cost?" He says, "I don't know. Why would I know how much things cost?" And I said, "Oh, you would ask for something, and your parents would tell you no, we can't afford it, and then they would tell you how much everything costs."
So you knew how much everything.
Yeah. I remember I wanted this robot called 2XL, which was really just an 8-track player that they had somehow. It was a brilliant thing where it would ask you questions, and it was a trivia thing, and you got informed, and it was $54.87 in Toys R Us, where my mom worked at the mall, and she couldn't afford a babysitter, so I would, at 9 years old, walk around the mall for 3 hours while she worked, and then when the boss left, I could go in there and hang out at the stationery store. But I would walk around, hang around at Toys R Us, and at Sears you could play the Atari for a while, and then the Orange Julius kids would give me free Julii.
I love that you did the plural of Julius. That makes me so happy.
This sounds like heaven.
It was incredible.
Did you ever have fried octopi with your Julii?
So I was like the mall mascot, basically, and I would hang out at the Toys R Us, and there was this robot called 2XL, and I knew it was $54.87, and I would every year I would ask for it, and then I also would ask people if I could borrow $54.87, which is so specific. But I hadn't worked out the fact that it would probably be 5% tax, and also, the parents would always say $55, but kids would always know that there was $54.87.
Sure.
That was a big kid thing. So I think...
Did you ever get it?
I did get it. My mom, there was a neighbor who got it and outgrew it several years later, and my mom bought it used from them and gave it to me for my birthday. And it worked 100%. Just the box was damaged because it's been opened.
I remember Christmas as being perilous, meaning something great could happen, but also if you're one of 6, you can get lost in the show. And Santa's busy because he's working at the microbiology lab, and sometimes Santa has a short fuse. And anyway, I remember once we had this tradition where we're asleep and Santa would put the gifts, they weren't wrapped, but they would just, each one of the kids in the family has a piece of furniture in the living room. This is where my parents still live, mind you. Wow. In Brookline, Mass. And there's a different piece of furniture, and Luke's toys would go on a chair, and most people had a chair, and then mine just arbitrarily became, there's this long white couch. Now think about it. Everything looks tiny and insignificant on a long white couch. And Santa's busy and there's a lot to do. So there were years where Santa's like, okay, I got Neil covered. I got Luke. I got Jane. I got Justin. And then he's down there and he's throwing stuff around. He's like, I got to get back to the lab. I think that germ got out. And then, I've been working on something called COVID. I hope it's...
Oh, shit.
But anyway, that was my dad. And anyway...
What's his name?
Thomas.
Okay.
And so he would be... there was one Christmas where I think he was throwing everything around, and then he got to the giant white couch, and there was some socks and there wasn't much. So I'll never forget that was the year he got a toboggan, like for everyone to share. But I come running downstairs and I see this giant toboggan filling out the couch. And I'm like, I got a toboggan? This is insane. And I'll never forget my dad went, interesting. Santa told me on his way out that it's actually for everyone. And I went, huh? But it's like the one thing that's on my couch. And he went, Santa said you kind of get to be in charge of it, but it's for everyone. And I'm like, first of all, you're having a legal conversation with Santa about ownership. And then how are you in charge of a toboggan? I get to decide who sits where. But hey, I got over it. I'm 60 and bitching about it on a podcast.
That
really
tracks
your
with the
rosebud.
socialism of 1970s
Oh
Massachusetts.
my God.
though.
And I still, to this day, when I go home and that white couch is still there,
Oh, really?
and I'll still look at it and I'll be like, fucking toboggan. There was a toboggan and then like some Post-its and some socks
Oh,
my
no.
God.
and an electric blanket. And then, it's like, what kind of... Anyway, enough about
Oh,
me.
man.
I'm just saying we all suffer.
I remember one year I did get a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons books.
And you talk about this.
Yeah.
You
I
talk
got
about
the
this in the
Dungeons
special.
and
Yeah.
Dragons books, but unfortunately it came with all these dice and the maps and everything like that, but it didn't come with any friends. And that is the greatest oversight of the TSR company was that, kids who are into this stuff
Right.
are lonely.
We have some similarities in that we both, well, not just coming from Massachusetts, but I think we have certain similar personalities in terms of kinds of things that we find funny and.
Oh yes.
But
Old-timey speak.
we love old timey speak.
That was the big thing from the abbreviating the stage joke is that I used the word ne'er-do-well, and I live in Harlem, and I never thought I would get recognized in Harlem because I'm one of the few white Jewish men who live up there, and a man saw me on the street last month, and that thing came out 7 or 8 years ago,
Right.
and the man saw me and he yelled, ne'er-do-well.
Isn't that great, though?
It was the greatest thing that ever. I don't get recognized very much in general, but when I do, oh man, does it feel good. It's probably irritating at your level, but at my level, it's still like
I don't ever.
It's very
no,
warm.
I'm,
really?
I'm not irritated.
That's great. That's great to hear.
I like, and you say, I'd be irritated by questions. I'm not.
Okay.
I like talking to people almost, and Sona is often with me when I'm out in the world, and Blay is too. But often people will start chatting with me, and I'll keep chatting with them, and then they say I have to go. I'll go with you. We can talk more about comedy.
I do these meet and greets after the show, and sometimes I'll connect with the people, and it's like I have to go back to a hotel room and be by myself.
Yes, it's time.
It's like turning back into Bill Bixby after being the Incredible Hulk. That feeling.
You've talked about. I can kind of relate to this. You have kind of an OCD about honesty, and I had this too growing up, which is. There's a lot of, it was very important to my mom that we all be thought of well.
Yeah.
And I love my mom, and she's just she's superhuman person who did so much when we were growing up to keep this madness together. And I idolize her. At the same time, she always wanted people, when people came over, she would put on a little bit of a, well, yes, now come here. She'd become... Because she wanted everyone to think that we're not low-class Irish. We are lace curtain Irish. And it was a whole thing. But she would say things, and we would all notice, like, what happened to Mom? And it was important. And I remembered it was always very important to me. And I think it's one of the reasons I got into comedy. I always had to say, nope, that's not true.
Oh, my gosh.
That's not.
Yes.
And one of the things
my mother would give me the stare. When
I would
Oh,
get that, too.
Yeah.
And she would, one of the things I remembered is we'd all be gathered around Christmas, Thanksgiving, and we have company over. Or anytime company was coming in, we got to sit in the dining room, and people are sitting around. She'd say, "And now, of course, we always say grace." And I'd say, we only do this when company's here.
Oh no!
And she would say,
so
that's
good.
not true.
Oh, that's so good.
But I mean, I just couldn't not. I had
Yeah.
to always say, that's not true.
Yeah, the dishonesty. Part of it is I grew up always feeling God was watching me all the time, just because of the. I just took everything everybody told me seriously, so that I would act up in the house. I would stub my toe on the corner of a counter, and my that doesn't make sense. Not a counter, a cabinet, and my mother would say, "See, God punished you." Oh. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Instead of thinking, "Gosh, what a prick," I would think, "Oh, I better not act up."
I used to think, doesn't God have other things to do? Hey, Goldman just got out of line. I'll give him the old stubberoo.
Yeah.
Hey, what about that? What about that tsunami that just wiped out 3,000 people in Indonesia? Oh, I was dealing with Goldman.
And then I went to Hebrew school. I don't know if you went to Catholic.
I went to Hebrew school.
Yeah.
I was immediately asked to leave. No, I went to Catholic instruction actually with Brian Kiley.
Oh, that's so interesting. I would go to Hebrew school and they would say, well, this is a sin, adultery and coveting, being jealous and bearing false witness. And are there any others? Yes, leaving the finger paints out. Is that also a sin that God will smite you for? But playing with clay without permission. That's another one that God punished me for. It was just the things I was learning in Hebrew school were not matching up with the little I had learned at home.
Am I correct that there's probably really not much difference between if you're a kid Hebrew instruction and if you're a kid Catholic instruction? Meaning they're both leaning on guilt, beware, watch out, someone's watching.
Yes,
because that was my experience, and then the few times that. Well, actually, I grew up in Brookline. More of my friends were Jewish than were Irish Catholic.
Sure.
And I would sense that, wait a minute, this is supposed to be a completely alien religion. Yeah. This is all sounding pretty familiar to me.
Totally.
Catholic and these people are really funny.
Yes.
So there's all this like transference.
Yeah. And also the presentation is very similar. The ornate, the rituals, the churches are gorgeous, and many of these synagogues, especially the older ones, are so impressive in terms of architecture and the stained glass and everything like that. It's very, very interesting. But I went to a Catholic college. I went to Boston College, and I befriended some Jesuit priests, and they would say, yeah, there's a lot of intersection in our liturgy. Not so much the words as much as the ideas and the where the stresses are, which is on a very angry, judgmental God. But as a lot of fathers do when they have a son late in life, they mellow, and that's where I see Protestantism is sort of a mellower God, not as likely to smite after having Jesus.
Yeah, the Protestants have it's a God that's like wearing loafers and Dockers. And he's
Pete Holmes.
Yeah, it's Pete Holmes. It's Pete Holmes is God, as opposed to like Bill Burr is the Catholic God. Where I like figuring out religion just using stand-ups.
Oh my gosh!
Specifically Northeastern stand-ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out who would be the Jewish comedian God. It wouldn't be Crystal. It wouldn't be no, too light.
Lewis Black. I just got it. It's Lewis Black, because if he's saying things like, "Do I get this straight? Let me understand something. The post office wants me to spend money on a stamp, and then I spend money on the stamp." You know, that kind of thing.
Wow, that's good.
You know what I used to do?
The Gomorrans and the Sodomites are having blowjobs.
Yeah. You know what I used to do? I used to do a Lewis. I like Lewis Black, but I used to do a Lewis Black impression where he's because his whole thing was getting worked up over something that's kind of small, and I used to do a Lewis Black impression about things where he's worked up about something you should be worked up about. So it'd be like, have you heard about this thing called kidnapping? Someone takes a child. They take a child who is the only son or daughter of these loving parents, and they take them away. And they say you'll only see them alive again if we get money. And it would really make me laugh because I'd be like, yeah. Just him getting
So
mad
good.
about stuff he should get mad about.
Kylie used to always tell me, he would say, you have no idea how funny the meetings are in Conan's office. And initially I was skeptical. I thought...
You said Conan's not that funny? How can he be
no,
funny in a
I
meeting?
said, yeah, everybody's going to laugh at their boss, right? And then I just started listening to the podcast, but also he would tell me the stories, the bits you would do, which was one of my favorites was the dirty Brian Kiley.
I would do Brian. It's called Brian Kiley at the Apollo. Now Brian Kiley, again, as you know, tells really clean jokes.
Yes.
And he wears the creased chinos and a blue
and schmaltzless, puts
nothing on it. The jokes are just,
they're just perfect. You could read them. They're beautiful, but
Perfect.
also his character is
perfect
so
jokes,
mild-mannered.
But Kiley, and he'd stand up there, and he's very Catholic, and he tells these wonderful jokes, and he always is doing this with his hands. He doesn't move his body really at all when he's up on stage.
Yeah.
And so I started doing Kiley at the Apollo, where he's up there, and he's like, "Hi everybody, good to see you. I'm Brian Kiley, and the other day I'm going down on this." Going down on this bitch, and I'm eating her out, and he's still the same mannerisms, and then I work my way, down to her asshole, and I start licking out her asshole. Oh God! And then I'm like, bitch, you've got to wash your ass. And he's killing. Murdering. But then he goes backstage, kills, and he goes, well, that's my time, thank you. And then he goes backstage, and I would always have him sit in a little iron chair and read a Truman biography quietly.
Yes.
And then someone would come and go, get out there again. They want more of you. And he'd be like, oh, okay. And he'd close it, and he'd go back out there, and he'd go, the other day, I'm whipping this guy with a, like, whatever. It's just fun.
It's weird to hear you even talk like that.
I know.
So
But the thing is,
funny.
when I'm channeling Kiley, so in meetings, I would just do these bits that had nothing to do what was going to be, nothing.
Yeah.
The whole rule was none of this helps the show. None of this can be on the show. None of it can help the show. And I would do these long, and especially in the post-show meeting, if a guest hadn't been good or if a bit hadn't worked, I could do 40 minutes destroying, it was really fun. That's the thing I missed. The thing I missed the most.
He said there were 4 or 5 shows the day of the show.
I would do shows before the show, and then the show was like, oh, we got to go do that show, huh? The one that people see. Well, that's no fun. I want to do Kiley at the Apollo. You've got to wash your ass.
So perfect.
And he's looking side to side.
Perfect.
And he's doing this with his, because you got to see Brian Kiley's a great comic, but just the idea that he would do any joke like this is just, right? It's just insane.
Yes.
It's just funnier because I know who Brian Kiley is, and I hope people go and look at his comedy online.
Go look at Brian Kiley.
Yeah.
How much of how different it is what you're saying.
I took a shit the other day. And you know when you take a shit and then at the same time, and then it's just like it gets incredibly insane. I would and when I would channel this stuff, I would be saying stuff that I don't even think about, but suddenly it's coming out because I'm doing Kiley at the Apollo, which gave me
perfect.
Oh, I love it.
so much joy. Uh-oh, Blay, what's the matter?
I hate all of this.
Why?
I love it, but imagining Kiley do it, it's crazy because he is the most. I think he might be the most straight-laced person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just now I have the mental image of him doing.
Also, you know what I always do? I would always add him driving home in a very small, sensible, square car.
Yeah.
And just, and then going home and pulling the blanket up to his chin to go to sleep. And then the phone rings.
With a nightcap.
And then the phone rings and it's the club going, they're screaming for you. They want more. And so he gets out, puts on his blazer, gets back in his little car, goes back there, and then goes out and becomes this other person.
Yeah, I picture him with a pipe carousel.
Yeah,
With all the pipes. And the other thing is that he's the person who reads the most long books, like Robert Caro, those LBJ books
not
that are
the person.
Oh.
One of the people.
Really?
Yeah. He and I have that same affliction.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I was gonna. That was one of the questions
No, we
I was
both
gonna
do that.
ask you. What is your? Are you a big reader?
Yeah, well, I read a ton of history, and Kylie was the same thing. But we were always both like, Kylie and I are just very similar in that we're these two Irish Catholic guys from Boston who, if you see a picture of us on a beach where everyone else is in a thong and playing pickleball, we're the ones reading books that weigh about 80 pounds, and they have a swastika on the cover because it's about. The rise and fall of the
Third Reich.
The rise and fall of the Third Reich.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Annotated.
Yeah. Annotated.
Yeah.
And we're like picking out things that are wrong.
Oh wow! You just went up in my book.
There you go.
Of people who read books.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
I'd like to think.
Did you like that Robert Caro documentary? Have you seen that?
I'm in it.
Oh yes.
You fucker.
I'm sorry. I got confused because you were also in the.
You thought that was Dennis? You thought that was Dennis Leary going on and on about Caro?
The Larry, the Gary Shandling documentary.
Yeah, these days everyone's in every documentary.
Yeah, and
I'm in documentaries I shouldn't be in about like sex trafficking in Sweden. And they just Conan O'Brien.
You should be in that one.
Well, I was cleared.